Hey everyone, welcome to Why Are You Still Here? So this is a weird episode. I don't even know where to begin. Let me first start off by saying that I first started to get into Doctor Who in 2014. Okay. I went to Chicago Comic-Con, Wizard World, and just from everything I saw there, it pushed me to finally check out Doctor Who. I was like, these people are definitely passionate. I was with my friend Anthony. Matt Smith was there, the 11th Doctor. And it just, once I got home, I was like, I committed to finally watching Doctor Who, the first episode, and then going from there kind of thing, And, basically, make a long story short, I now love Doctor Who. I started loving it very quickly from that point. I ended up watching the entire show up until that point of New Who within like a month and a half, something like that. And, that was a lot. That was a lot of, that was 8 seasons of a show. And, I guess some people probably could have knocked that off quicker, but whatever. For me, that was fast. And, ultimately, when you get into something new, you start checking out videos on YouTube, right? So that can range from anything, clips of the show, people talking about it, reviews of memorabilia from the show, let's say. So
Yep, and
that's
before you know it, you're
exactly
5 years deep and you're like 20 channels in to that kind of
correct.
content.
Correct. And I watched a few people's channels, but the one that resonated with me the most was the channel by a man named Stephen McCullagh, Votesaxon07. And if you have been following the news at all recently, you know exactly where this is headed. Unfortunately, allegedly, allegedly. Um, and so whatever. So he would do a ton of, like reviews, figure reviews of like Doctor Who, figures, prop replica reviews. And he would also talk about some other things that interest me, like Ghostbusters and Back to the Future and that kind of stuff. All of his content, just about probably 80% of it really resonated with me. And at a certain point in time, I was proud to call him a friend, not a close friend, but a friend. So we became friends on Facebook around the point of, I think, 2015. So about a year after I discovered his channel. And the whole reason for that was because his father passed away. And I offered my condolences. So, I let him know that if he ever needed anything, let me know. And then that opened up the gates for a little bit of a friendship. We'd talk from time to time. Fast forwarding a few years now to a week ago, I received a response on a comment that I put on a post that he had on YouTube. Okay. So he posted something. It was a picture of himself, like looking out onto a city from like a parking garage or something. And it talked about how 2022 was the worst year of his life. And, he wouldn't wish it on his worst enemy and all this kind of stuff. And the comments were filled with people just offering their condolences, not really knowing what happened, but just saying, like, sorry to hear that. We're here for you, that kind of thing. And I knew that his dog passed away in 2022, his dog that was 12 years old. But outside of that, I had no idea, I wonder maybe if he broke up with his girlfriend, Natalie, who is somebody who has, popped up in his videos from time to time.
In the walls. Walls.
Stephen! Stephen! The new doctor's a woman! It's a woman! The new doctor's
very similar to the situation with his father passing away, except this was just on a post rather than a message. I just said, like, hey, we're here for you, it'll get better, that kind of thing. Few days pass by and I get a response from somebody commenting on that saying he's a killer. And I was like, what? And I thought it was just a troll. I wrote it off. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? But there's a part of me that was like, what? So I started to look at more of the comments and I saw now there's other people saying things like he's a murderer, he's a killer. Oh, I know of what he did, like that kind of stuff. And then I'm like, okay, now I need to actually look into this because there's no way. I mean, I thought it was just people screwing around, but now there's so many people talking about it. I had to look into it. And so I went to Google and I searched Stephen McCullagh. And there wasn't really much there, but it did lead me to an article of a case featuring a woman named Natalie McNally, who unfortunately was stabbed to death while she was pregnant. And that was Stephen's girlfriend or fiance. And that was crazy enough as it is. But then you search Natalie McNally on Google, and I saw that 2 days prior to that, Stephen McCullagh had been officially arrested and charged with her murder and her baby's murder. So basically, I've found out a little bit since then. Like again, this is all alleged. I don't want to get us into any hot water. So I'm not saying that it's for sure him, but he's definitely arrested for it. And I'm reeling over it. I'm still reeling over it. This is a situation that feels a little bit personal to me. I'm not trying to make it about me. If anybody's watching this, like, oh, he's just trying to make it about him. I'm not trying to make it about me. Trust me. But I figured, because a lot of people have talked about this, and I generally don't want to interject into something unless I can add something unique into it. And I have not seen anybody step forward that knew him, even a little bit. So I figured I'd throw my perspective out there. Of course, my first instinct was denial. There's no way. Like, this guy, he's such a nice guy. Like, I felt I knew him, so well because of his videos, right? Like, you feel like you really know somebody at that point. And it's just like, it's like, I don't know. It's hard to describe, really. So initially, I'm like, there's no way, and I hope that he's found innocent or whatever, if there's a trial. And so that's basically how it's been since then. Like I said, I watched more videos about it, found out a little bit more, read some articles, found out a little bit more. There's no official motive for this. You can only speculate that maybe allegedly he wanted her to get an abortion and maybe she didn't want to, and he thought that that was going to ruin his life.
Perhaps he should have used a condom.
Oh, here, what?
And like a selfish man-child piece of shit, rather than grow up, you go and to the most extreme lengths to keep your life exactly the same. That's a possibility.
Which doesn't even make any sense. Completely paradoxical, as far as I'm concerned.
It's very right. Because how do you mess your life up the most? Well, you murder somebody, right? That's going to make sure that everything gets really badly messed up for you. And this is not like a heat of the moment crime.
Yeah, you mean it's like premeditated.
The amount of police force that we have lost over the last 12 years is just fucking frightening, and no wonder crime is on the rise. That's why I like sticking to just doing crimes in a video game.
Very much so premeditated. But, if you accidentally do something like maybe, you're arguing with your pregnant girlfriend. I'm not saying this is okay, but you maybe, shove her, again, not saying it's okay, and she falls backwards, hits her head, and dies, right? That's a different situation. It's not a good situation, but it's a different situation than premeditating something, planning it for days, if not weeks, and stabbing her to death along with her child in her womb. That is something that's pure evil, and there's no two ways about it. That person is pure evil. There's no normal person that could carry out an act like that or even plan an act like that. So again, if anybody's watching this that has followed the case at all, Stephen McCullagh premeditated it to the point of having a fake live stream. So the live stream is up on his channel. As of this video, his channel's still up as well. I don't know if it'll ever be taken down, because usually it's a family member or something that does that. And, he doesn't really have any family members. So maybe it'll be the family of Natalie McNally. I don't know. But so that's still up. So the live stream is still up. It's 6 hours long. And he basically, recorded a fake live stream. He, for 6 hours, recorded a video that looked like it was a live stream. He came up with the excuse that, OBS would not allow him to open up his chat, because if he opened up his chat, it was going to crash OBS.
Can't look at the live chat for some bloody reason, because if I do, it makes the whole thing freeze and OBS just screws up. In fact, I'm still live. Good.
So he had an excuse for that. He was playing Grand Theft Auto Vice City. He labeled the stream Violent Night. Okay. Now you might say, hey, obviously it's a play on Silent Night. The movie Violent Night just came out. But that's probably not what's going on there. He thought he was being clever, having the name Violent Night Christmas stream. And I watched a good amount of that stream, and I gotta tell you, it's very interesting, because ultimately, especially if you get drunk, like he gets drunk in the stream.
I'm drunk as a fucking skunk, because all that shit that I took has just went right to me fucking head, son.
You start having little slips here and there, and your mind kind of exposes you. I mean, after all, he recorded this stream. This one's not alleged. He finally admitted it. It was recorded 5 days, I guess, 5 days in advance, in order to potentially follow through with this crime. I don't know.
God damn, man! You could make a whole movie out of what was going through his mind in that whole live stream. Good God,
yes,
that's insane.
And that's what makes the live stream so interesting to watch too.
Yeah. I need to kill this bitch. I need to take her down. Here we go. Make her look like an accident. Well, that's alright. I've made my entire life look like one. What?
Did you watch the whole thing?
I watched half of it. I'll probably go back and watch the rest of it. But the thing is that ever since I've been going through the stages of grief, again, not trying to inject myself into the middle of this, because ultimately it needs to be said that truly my heart goes out to Natalie McNally's family. I can't even imagine. I watched a little brief interview with her brother where he talked about how excited they were that she was pregnant and all this kind of stuff, and it's heartbreaking. Her parents, it was going to be their first grandchild, all that kind of stuff. And my heart goes out to somebody that not a lot of people have talked about, which is Anthony, his best friend, somebody that spent so much time with him, who is probably you think I'm reeling from this? Could you imagine? Let's say you and I knew each other now, 20 years from now. Okay. So we've known each other for the amount of time we've already known each other plus 20 years, and then I just go and murder somebody in the most heinous way possible. Imagine how you'd feel about that. Even now,
I'd probably have to take like a week off of work just to like sit there, and I'd probably be pretty fucked up.
it would be like, not only do you spend so much time with that person, like they had a show together where, unlike us, they would be in person sitting next to each other, talking about episodes of Doctor Who. They spent so much time together. They've known each other for so long. And, he has to wonder, how did he not see the clues to Stephen being like this? Or did he see it and did he ignore it? And, all this kind of stuff. Like, I can't even imagine what must be going through his head. So I really feel for him as well. But yeah, there's just, I don't know. You could check out his stream if you want. Honestly, I hope it never gets taken down, because
It's
that's
saved.
good evidence.
It's archived. There's no way it's not.
I hope so. Because obviously there's backups of all this stuff on his computer, but that's not going to matter anymore.
I mean, like some user has downloaded it.
Yeah,
sure.
You're probably right. I thought about downloading it, but I don't have like, I didn't want to sit there for 6 hours just screen recording it. I know there's better ways of doing it, but that's immediately what I thought of. Because that's all good evidence right there. There's so much to unpack in that. And it's very interesting. The fact that he keeps on saying he's live, he keeps saying the time in the middle of the stream, like 6:22.
6:22.
That kind of thing. Like, nobody does that. They might do it once or whatever, but it was so obvious it was an alibi.
It's not even 8 o'clock yet. Like it's coming up to 8 o'clock. I'll take another wee break. There's 8:06. 2 fucking hours left in streaming, right? So it's 11 minutes past 8.
It's insane. And there's a moment in the stream as well where supposedly like a glitch happens, and it quickly flashes a poster for No Time to Die up on the screen, and then he quickly puts it away and comes back and goes, I made a real pig's ear of that.
I made a real pig's ear of that. I just sat down and I pulled the controller and the headphones off the table, which hit the keypad, which it's apparently hotkeys are still connected, so it went on to something else for a little second.
Liar!
You know what's chilling? The moment that No Time to Die comes up, which you take the no out of it, Time to Die, is within 10 minutes of when Natalie McNally was actually murdered. So, yeah, and you might say, how did he know that it was going to be that exact time? He didn't allegedly drive to her house. He took public transit. So because of schedules, he knew exactly what time he was going to be there and which bus he had to take back, right? So he knew exactly how long he was going to be there. And he was only inside, allegedly, the perpetrator was only inside her house for 20 minutes. They walked by the camera, the CCTV camera, and then they walked back by the camera 20 minutes later. Very quick. And then Stephen McCullagh was the one to find her body the next day as well. Yeah, so they initially arrested him because, of course, you arrest the boyfriend or husband or whatever, and then they let him go because of the live stream. But when they were looking at his computer, they saw that the live stream was a video that he had on his computer still. And it's crazy to think how easily he could have gotten away with it if he just deleted that video. Like, if he had thought about deleting that video, how do you prove it? Or might be suspicious, but you just reboot your entire computer so you can't get any files off of it. It was that easy. But he wasn't as smart as he thought he was.
I tried to be clever and I fucked myself. Because I'm not clever. I'm actually just a stupid piece of shit in a t-shirt. It really needs to be washed.
But yeah, I don't know. In conclusion, though, I was sad about this. For mostly selfish reasons. Let's be honest. I was I felt for Natalie's family, of course, but I was also like, I really love this guy's content and I'm not going to have it anymore, you know? It's very selfish, I know, but I figured I would be honest about that. And then now I'm angry. Ever since last night, I've been angry and disgusted by him, which is why I haven't been able to finish that live stream. So I, at first, when I was just sad, I watched the live stream. And then last night, I was just like, he disgusts me. Like the things that he put into that, like almost saying like, you know, like almost, let's be honest, is saying F you to the
it's like he's
victim's
bragging.
family. Yep. Like you can't do anything to me about this. There is even a brief moment where he goes, oh, like a car does something funky in GTA Vice City. And he goes, he's like, oh, that's physics. That's exactly what would happen in real life. And then he goes, absolutely. And he goes, huh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's physics. That's what would happen in the real world. Abso-fucking-nately. Abso-fucking-natly.
What? You know, like it was like you saw it literally in his face. And then there's another moment where, and this will be the last thing I say as well, but there's another moment, this one really got me, where he says, like, you know, call your loved ones, you know, it's Christmas, you know, it's time to be with family and all this kind of stuff. And then he looks at the camera and goes, I have a feeling that this Christmas is going to be a great one.
Rest, relax, spend time with my loved ones. Actually, it'll be a really fucking good Christmas this year. But yes, sorry, I'm getting horribly distracted.
That did it.
Yeah, they're gonna make at the
me.
bare minimum a Lifetime movie about this guy.
They probably will. There's definitely gonna be tons of like, you know, real crime, you know, true crime murder shows about it. There might be a Lifetime movie. Wavy Web Surf. We'll talk about him.
It's a pretty grim topic. Usually when we're talking about grim topics, it's reviewing movies, but this is like, I don't know, there's a tonal shift with us guys, like just in conclusion of it, like for the Dahmer series, for example, like we don't like that people glorify that kind of shit. We like horror movies because they're fake. By the way, we don't like real serial killers. We're repulsed by that.
Correct. I really liked the Richard Ramirez documentary though, Night Stalker. That was really
documentaries
good.
are good, but like when you're recreating it as a TV show and people like, oh, that's my favorite character, it's my favorite serial killer. Just shut the hell up.
That was the problem with it. Yeah. Not so much the show. That's fine, but a person that we work with referred to Jeffrey Dahmer as their favorite serial killer, and it's like, no. But that's it. I think I pretty much covered the bases. A lot of people just read the article and chimed in on it because they didn't really actually know him. But I knew him a little bit, so I figured that I could add that into the conversation. And I'm shocked. You know, I didn't see this at all. Usually there's two different types of murderers. There's like the organized and disorganized. And disorganized, I believe, is when you hear that they're a killer and you go, oh yeah. I sure. And then the other one, the organized ones, you're like, what? They seem like such a nice guy, you know, like Chris Watts. Just like what? Like, could you imagine being close to that family? Like he seemed like such a normal, nice guy. And very much like Stephen McCullagh, he was his wife, I forgot her name.
Shanann.
Yeah, Shanann. She had like a blog, like she had a presence online, and so
she did videos and all that, and they showed the both of them at like baseball games and shit like that, and
all
like,
the time,
him around the house, like doing chores and cooking. Yeah.
Even her announcement to him that she was pregnant, and he looked so excited. He looked so excited. He seemed like such a normal guy. And now it's like he went into some weird state because now you can watch interviews with the guy and he seems like a normal guy again and he regrets every decision, which he should, that he made. So whatever. That's people are still trying to figure out what the hell's going on there. That was a cheating situation, but that doesn't excuse anything.
Doesn't excuse anything.
It's just pure evil. There's people that are pure evil out there, and this one's a pure evil one. The only time I experienced anything like this was I watched a guy named Red Wolf Gamer who turned out to be a diddler of the youngins. I have to say it like that because
which is murder anyway.
It pretty much is. It's stealing the innocence of children. So that blew me away, but I didn't know him even a little bit. Like I never talked to him. I felt like I knew him, but I never talked to him or anything. And then Lucas lost somebody who passed away who was a YouTuber that he watched. So
back in like 2005, 2006, like years ago, from a medical condition. I didn't always agree with the guy, but his wife, just posted something that he passed away. I'm like, holy fucking shit. This made me think twice, like, wow.
You know how it...
he's probably only like 15 years older than us. So, I mean,
okay.
Like, makes you think.
Do you know how it is when a celebrity dies and you're just like what? Like, I felt like, they were such a huge part of my lives. That goes double for YouTubers because you watch them more. You feel more of a connection to them. You have the ability to communicate with them. They feel like they're your friends, so it ends up being even worse in a lot of ways. So they do something wrong or they pass away. It's a difficult pill to swallow, but that's it. Anybody watching this, did you ever watch any of his videos? Were you a viewer of Votesaxon07? Are you a fan of Doctor Who? If you're a fan of Doctor Who and you've been on YouTube at all in your life, you definitely have come across this guy. He had like 39,000 subscribers, I think. So nothing crazy, but also much more than us. And
enough for them to be known.
Yes, correct. Ever since this news came down, I've been watching his subscriber count, and he's lost like 500, which is just so funny to me that people unsubscribe.
Yeah.
Like, take that. I will unsubscribe from you. Like, come on.
Because his ad revenue is getting sent right to the prison. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like,
right. Like
whatever.
I'll say it. I'll be the first to say I'm still subscribed to him because it means nothing anymore. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So whatever. It's not meaning that you're like supporting a murderer because he's never getting out. Let's be honest. Unless it turns out some freak thing happens and it really wasn't him, which nobody would be more ecstatic except me and his friend Anthony and his other friends, But anyway, that's it. So what do you guys think about this developing story? Did you already know about it? If not, what do you think about it now? Put all your thoughts and comments below. And he's due back in court on February 25th, I believe. So we might find out more stuff. I don't know. But that's it. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day or night or morning or whatever. All right.